Have you ever wondered why people regret moving to certain states? Well, let me show you the places where you might rethink your decision in 2025. Picture this. You pack your bags, say goodbye to your old life, and head to a shiny new state, thinking you found the perfect spot to start fresh. Fast forward a few months, and suddenly you're hit with the reality of your new home. Maybe it's the sky-high cost of living, a never-ending string of bad weather, or even the sense that no one ever really feels like a local. Whatever it is, some states have a way of making you wish you had stayed put. Now, I'm not here to completely crush your dreams, but let's be real. Some places sound great in theory, but the reality can be a whole different story. It might look like a dream destination on Instagram, but when you're dealing with the constant traffic, lack of jobs, or even just the shock of how different the lifestyle is, regret can sneak in quicker than you think. So, let me take you on a wild ride as we dive into the top 10 states that people are going to regret moving to in 2025. Buckle up, it's about to get a little bit crazy. And maybe, just maybe, you'll reconsider that new address you were eyeing. So, you're thinking about moving to Texas, huh? Well, get ready for blistering heat, ridiculous traffic, and a whole lot of politics. Texas might be known for big hats and BBQ, but the real question is, can you survive the summer heat and the endless highways? The state is huge, which means you'll spend more time on the road than actually living in one place. And don't even get me started on the weather. Imagine stepping outside and feeling like you're walking into a frying pan. With temperatures hitting over 100 degrees F in the summer, you'll be sweating faster than a hot dog on a grill. Sure, there's good food, but you'll need a giant margarita to cool off and keep your sanity. But wait, there's more. Texas also has a bit of a traffic problem, especially in places like Dallas and Houston. You think your commute will be short? Think again. You'll be stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic, watching your life tick away second by second, wondering why you thought moving here was a good idea. Oh, and don't forget the culture shock. You might love the idea of Texas BBQ, but once you realize that it's basically a religion here, you'll find yourself eating brisket at 2 a.m. just to keep up. So, are you sure you want to call Texas home? Let's just say that if you can't handle the heat, you might want to think twice before making this your permanent address. Next up, let's talk about Florida. The Sunshine State, where the only thing hotter than the weather is the drama. Florida's a place where the party never stops, but neither does the chaos. You've probably seen a viral Florida man story at least once, and yeah, that's real life here. The state is full of tourists, retirees, and people who just can't leave. But if you think you're going to find the perfect beachside bungalow in paradise, think again. You'll be competing with every retiree from up north and tourists looking for their next Insta-worthy shot. And don't forget about the weather. Sure, Florida's known for sunshine, but it also brings rainstorms that come out of nowhere and hurricanes that'll make you wonder if you're living in a disaster movie. Think you can handle it? Well, you'll need to be prepared for a lot of waiting in line and a lot of sweating, because Florida is always in full throttle mode, and it doesn't show signs of slowing down anytime soon. So, would you want to live in a state where the weather can ruin your beach day and the people make every trip to the grocery store feel like a reality TV show? Yeah, I didn't think so. How about Arizona? A state so dry, you'd swear the air is made of sandpaper. Sure, Arizona's desert. Beauty looks stunning in photos, but step outside and you'll instantly feel like you've walked into an oven. The dry heat is no joke. Your skin will be begging for moisture, and your car seats will leave you with third-degree burns. The sun is relentless, and the heat doesn't care what time of year it is. Just when you think it's safe to leave your house in the late afternoon, You'll be slapped by a wave of hot air that makes you question all your life choices. And don't even get me started on the bugs. They're huge, they're everywhere, and they're not shy. Arizona might seem like a peaceful retreat from the hustle and bustle, but living here means constantly battling the elements and your own sanity. So, is Arizona really worth it? I'm not sure, especially if you can't stand the heat, or the bugs, or the endless, dry landscape. Then there's Nevada. Sure, Vegas might be fun for a weekend, but living here means dealing with the desert heat and zero shade. You'll bake like a pizza in an oven. Welcome to paradise. Nevada may boast a flashy, high-energy scene in Las Vegas, but outside the bright lights and casino buzz, it's a barren wasteland. The job market can be tough, and you'll find that aside from the Strip, there's not much else going on. Want to live in Reno? Well, expect to shovel snow in the winter and bake under the sun in the summer. It's like the state is actively trying to drive you crazy with extremes. But hey, if you're into endless desert and living out of a suitcase, Nevada might be the place for you. But as for the rest of us, I'll pass, thanks. And let's not forget about Mississippi. The mosquitoes in Mississippi aren't just bugs. They're like tiny vampires that never leave you alone. You could be walking to your car, and by the time you get there, you'll have a dozen new mosquito bites, all while trying to figure out how you didn't see them coming. The state is also known for its scorching humidity, which will have you feeling sticky 24/7. Don't expect to go a day without constantly wiping sweat from your brow, and let's not even talk about the state's economic struggles. You'll find that while it's a great place for Southern hospitality, it's not so great when it comes to job opportunities. So, unless you're ready to live in a swamp of heat, bugs, and few job prospects, Mississippi might just not be the paradise you thought it would be. Now, if you thought Nevada was hot, get ready to meet the king of the desert, California. California may be the land of opportunity, but it's also the land of ridiculously high housing prices, traffic that feels like it's never moving, and an economy that's basically a game of survival of the fittest. While the state does have its perks, think beautiful beaches, mountains, and some of the best weather in the country, it also has some major drawbacks. Living in places like Los Angeles means battling traffic every day, which might just turn you into a road rage monster. Housing is outrageously expensive, and finding an affordable place can feel like winning the lottery. And don't even try to buy a house in San Francisco unless you've got a few million lying around. California has so much to offer, but unless you're prepared to shell out your life savings, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's also New York, the Big Apple. It's the city that never sleeps. But if you're moving here with dreams of living in an apartment that doesn't cost more than your soul, you might want to rethink your plans. Sure, New York is exciting, but the hustle can take a toll on your sanity. You'll be dodging crowds, struggling to make ends meet, and questioning why you're paying sky-high rent for a shoebox. And if you're outside of the city, you'll find yourself battling the brutal winters that can make you want to hibernate until spring. But hey, at least the pizza's good, right? And if you're really feeling adventurous, why not consider Alaska, a state where the sun disappears for months and the temperature plunges lower than your hopes for a good Wi-Fi connection? Alaska might look like a winter wonderland on postcards, but living here is a different story. If you can handle months of darkness and a landscape that makes you feel like you're in an endless snow globe, then maybe it's the right fit. But for most people, the extreme isolation and harsh conditions can feel like living on another planet. Add to that the fact that things are ridiculously expensive due to the lack of infrastructure, and you'll be second-guessing every decision you made leading up to your move. So, are you ready to pack your bags and move to a state that's going to make you seriously question your life choices? Whether it's the heat, the traffic, the bugs, or just the general chaos, some states are more regret than reward. But hey, if you think you're tough enough to handle it all, go ahead. Just don't say I didn't warn you. Now, imagine this. You're stuck in the endless traffic of California, and you've just realized that your commute is longer than a season of your favorite Netflix show. The freeway stretches out before you like a never-ending river of cars, and you start to wonder if you'll ever get to actually live in the place you moved to. You'll spend more time in your car than you will in your own home, getting stuck at red lights, while staring at a view of the same gas station for the 15th time that week. Suddenly, that dream of California beaches and palm trees feels more like a cruel joke, and you'll be yelling at your steering wheel, "Why did I think moving here was a good idea?" Or picture yourself in the baking heat of Arizona, feeling like you've been thrown into an oven. It's the kind of heat that sticks to your skin and makes you sweat just by breathing. You're not just hot, you're in an existential crisis of heat. And when you walk outside, the sun doesn't just shine, it blazes with the intensity of 1,000 fireballs. You thought it was a dry heat, but now you realize it's more like living inside a pizza oven where your hopes and dreams are slowly being toasted. And when you finally find some shade, congratulations! It's probably just a cactus. Forget the pool, it's just a giant hot tub in disguise. Now, Mississippi might seem like a peaceful retreat. But let's be honest, it's more like living inside a giant sauna that's actively trying to cook you alive. The humidity here is so thick, it feels like you're walking through soup. And just when you think you can't sweat anymore, the mosquitoes arrive like tiny flying demons with a thirst for your blood. You'll be slapping at your skin constantly, swatting away the relentless swarm of bugs that seem to exist just to ruin your day. And when you think it's safe to enjoy the outdoors, the heat comes back like an old friend who won't leave. The state might offer southern hospitality, but it also offers humidity that makes you want to move somewhere with an actual breeze. Then there's Texas, where everything is bigger, especially the regrets. The heat is unforgiving, and you'll find yourself begging for a break as you step out of your house into what feels like a blast furnace. You thought you were moving to a place full of BBQ and country music, but instead, you're roasting in the summer sun while battling traffic in your air-conditioned car. And just when you think it can't get worse, the politics start to sink in, leaving you questioning if you've made the right choice. Every day is a new adventure in frustration, and you'll find yourself staring longingly at the nearest exit sign, asking, "Why did I even come here?" Nevada might have been the ultimate weekend getaway, but living here is a whole different story. You'll find yourself stuck in a desert of your own making, where the only thing hotter than the temperature is the desperation to get out. It's not just the desert heat that'll drive you mad. It's the overwhelming sense of isolation and boredom. Sure, Vegas might be fun for a night, but when you're living in Nevada, you'll quickly realize there's not much to do beyond the glittering lights of the Strip. You'll feel like you're living in a never-ending episode of a reality show, where the stakes are always high, but your happiness is slowly dying in the desert sun. And let's not forget Alaska. Oh, Alaska. A place where winter feels like it's a permanent state of being. The darkness lasts for months, and you'll find yourself wrapped in layers of clothes, trying to stay warm while the cold seeps into your bones. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night to find that it's pitch dark outside, and it's only 2 p.m. The harsh conditions are enough to make you question if you're living in the twilight zone, and the isolation can feel like you've been dropped onto an alien planet. If you're not careful, you'll start to wonder if it's worth it. Living in a place where the landscape is breathtaking, but the reality of the extreme weather might just be too much to handle. So, as you start to think about whether these states are worth the risk. Consider this. Do you really want to spend the next few years of your life fighting the heat, dodging traffic, and swatting mosquitoes? Will you find yourself stuck in a desert with no way out, or trapped in a state where the weather makes you question all of your life choices? Because in 2025, moving to these states might just turn out to be the biggest mistake you've ever made. So there you have it. Don't move to Texas unless you're prepared to sweat like a roast chicken in an oven. Don't even think about Arizona if you want to keep your sanity and skin intact. And maybe just stay out of Nevada unless you're really into desert living and the occasional poker game. Florida. Well, if you're okay with constant chaos, humidity, and weirdness, then it's your paradise. And Mississippi? It's like living in a sauna that never shuts off. Don't say I didn't warn you. As for Alaska and California, well, unless you enjoy freezing your butt off or spending more time in traffic than at home, maybe look elsewhere. If you loved hearing about the states you should avoid, hit that like button and subscribe for more lists that will save you from making a major mistake. And hey, I want to know, what's the worst place you've ever lived? Let me know in the comments, but don't tell me it's somewhere I'll regret moving to, okay? Thanks for watching. Now go out there, make smarter decisions, and don't forget to keep laughing at the craziness around us.